Tampa Bay Rays. The next question is from Trey B. How available is Randy Arozarena right now?
Highly available. And getting back to Eflin a little bit, the Rays, as I wrote the other day, are generally reluctant, not opposed, but reluctant to trade guys who have signed with them multi-year deals as free agents or guys who have signed below market deals in extensions. Arozarena does not fit either category. He's going year to year, and they're going to be less wedded to him than they will be to some of those other guys. Eflin, Brandon Lau, Yandy Diaz, all of these guys who have signed below market or multi-year free agent deals. Now, it's not to say they won't trade those other guys. They will, but their preference, or at least without the commitment being made both ways, they don't have the same kind of commitment to the player going forward. So Arozarena, who has not made that commitment to them, and they have not made that commitment to him, they would be more apt to trade him, and there is significant interest in him.
You speak of the significant interest. Where do you think he's most likely to end up?
The Dodgers are one possibility for sure, but really all teams that need offense are looking at him right now, and there are a lot of teams that need offense. It's an offensively down year for so many clubs. So many clubs are frustrated by their offenses. I'm thinking about Seattle and Texas. So those are clubs I can see where he would fit. And there are many others as well. I'm just not thinking of them off the top of my head right now.
Ken threw a few things out there that I want to bounce off of you guys, okay? Because he's answering fan questions. And I feel like sometimes Ken will be like, yeah, of course Jazz Chisholm's being traded this year. And people are like, wait, what? For sure? You know, like he's hearing things much more in depth than obviously the rest of the world. So here's some others that stood out to me from Fair Territory. Of course, you can see the whole show. It's up there on YouTube, on the Foul Territory YouTube channel. Catch that a little bit later on after you watch FT. Maybe you can give it a look. Follow the Foul Territory YouTube channel. And also he put out his article, What I'm Hearing. I'll get to some of those notes as well. But let's start with what he said on Fair Territory. A couple things. He thinks that it's highly likely that both Zach Eflin and Randy Arozarena get traded. Those are guys that have years of control left after this season. So, again, that's interesting to hear in my mind. I know those are two names that have come up, but thoughts on those two? And, of course, the message that it sends if you're Tampa Bay, even if they do end up maybe adding a player, those are some pretty big names to shed off this year's roster.
Yeah, I want to talk about Zach Eflin. He's a great pitcher.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's not the Zach Eflin of old, but he's a guy that is a better than average starter. You could put him anywhere you want as a starter. He's not going to care for one. He's still a tall presence. He's a big guy. He throws hard. He still has one of the nasty breaking balls too as well. He's going to help any ball club who needs a starting pitcher. And at the end of the day, there's a plethora. And I know Kratzy loves when I say plethora. There is a plethora of teams who need back-end starters. And guess what? He will fit in a bunch of them. I'm not going to guess where, but, you know, I can see. Yeah, I get St. Louis is a good one, but it's just that's one guy like an Eric Fetty as well. Like I kind of compare him. I think Fetty's had a little better year, but, you know, to have a guy like that who's rearing back ready to go, who wants to play for a contender, why not?
And also, Eflin can go to a team that can afford him. Fetty is cheaper. Yes, he's had a better year, but I would put them in a similar category, Kratz. Like, if that's my third starter in a playoff game, don't you put those two in a somewhat similar category in terms of stuff?
Or
obviously, Eflin's done it more, but
or even the teams with abundance. I think Eflin gives you a little bit more because he's done it in the bullpen. So maybe it's a little bit more. Fetty's having a better year, but I think they're both number fours maybe to eat innings. So they may not pitch in the first round of a playoff series, but they're definitely going to be there second through the World Series. I
disagree. They're threes for me.
Okay. Well, what teams are they threes? They're threes, possible twos if both of them go to the Brewers. They are a 3 or 4 if they're on the Orioles. If they are, you know, if they're on,
true.
It depends.
Yeah, no, I know that. I'm just saying.
Fives
yes, I'm saying they're veterans. They can eat innings, but when you set up a playoff series, if you're like, hey, we have two good starters, and then it's Fetty or Eflin,
good.
We're good. I feel good about that.
You could take that.
Yeah, it's not like, I don't really trust this guy. Let's do bullpen game. So, but Eflin costs more, and next season he's 18 mil, I think. So he's expensive for teams to take on. So it just depends on which team it is. Randy can go to a number of spots too. And I feel like the change of scenery will excite him. It's not like he's having issues in Tampa Bay by any means. I just think that he's the kind of guy who can get jaded at times. Then it's like, oh, it's October? Okay, I'm going to be the best player on the planet for a few weeks. Like Adolis. Adolis did it last year.
Yeah.
It's there. It's so there. I don't know what they taught him when they were both in St. Louis. Sorry, Cardinals fans. Sorry, Lucy Birds. Yeah, they were both Cardinals outfielders, and you could have had them both. But even if Randy does not get, like, let's think about Randy going to the Phillies. The Phillies offense, they can always need something else. Always need a shot in the arm. Everyone goes through slumps. But you think about that looming in the playoffs, what he's done in the playoffs in his entire career. You sit there and you go, how much do they want? Yeah, we want that guy. Because only what he's done in the playoffs, he turns into another man in the playoffs.
Listen, here's a question I just thought of too. Is he going to be, say he does get traded to the Phillies, is he going to be okay not being the big guy? The guy that, that everybody's looking to doing the show. And I'm not trying to mean this in a bad way either. Like, is he going to be all right not being, top dogs when he was in Tampa Bay, Scott?
I'm going to counter that.
Yeah, go ahead.
I think any team he goes to, he's the big guy for fan interaction and engagement. He is on a different level. He knows that he's not leading the Phillies clubhouse. He's far back in line. And I don't think he's that guy anyway. I don't think he's like, yo, bring it in. Like Bryce Harper, hey, this is my team. I think it's like, oh, Randy's going to make 3,000 people's day in the outfield, right? That are going to look at him. He's going to smile for a selfie. Then he's going to go put on his helmet and hit a dinger.
Is he all right batting 7th or 8th, 6th, 7th or 8th? Is that okay?
I think on the right team. Like, I think he'd thrive in L.A. too. L.A. is going after a Robert. I think they're looking deeply into a Arozarena.
And I'm not trying to diminish his character. I think he's a great guy. Some guys they don't, relate.
They don't play second fiddle.
I've got one for you.
And I'm not saying he doesn't, but I'm just saying, what happens if he bats 7th on the Phillies or the Dodgers? Is he going to be like, oh, God, or is he going to be like, oh, this is a challenge, let's go? You know what I'm saying?
I'll use
not even just him, other players as well.
Extreme example for you. Last year, Soto with Machado. I felt like you have like franchise-changing players together, and I'm not saying that those two didn't get along. It felt like there wasn't the right mix with San Diego, and that was written about. With Randy, I feel like, I don't know, he's such a unique cat that he can – I think he needs to be in a spot that's contending and preferably in a ballpark that has people showing up. I think that's the key for him.
And you got to be okay with doing that team stuff, and I'm not saying he doesn't, but – understanding batting 7th is different than batting 2, 3, 4. You know what I mean? Or leading off wherever he's hitting. It's different. Like, you're not the big man on campus anymore. Lead by example. Go out there and fall right in line to another team. It's hard for some players to do.
Yeah, he's going to cost probably $10 million plus for 2025. He's got 2026 under contract too, and then he'd be a free agent. One more stat, I have to throw it out there. 33 games in October. 11 home runs, 690 slugging percentage.
Go ahead, Kraft.
No, I couldn't agree more with you, and that's exactly why that number, that $10 million number, is exactly why I think Randy Arozarena will be a Pirate.
A
Pirate.
Oof.
That would be. See, he would take over. He would take over Pittsburgh. It would be.
I'm telling you, and he's going to hit 5th or 6th in that lineup.
Randy's why you come to the park every day.
Well, I think O'Neal Cruz got something to say about that.
But Randy is more
different,
extravagant. He's more celebratory, show me the whole deal, right?
Is Tellez all right with that?
Yep.
Yeah.
Tellez wants to win. Tellez wants to win. And the fans will love it. The fans will love it. They already have their leader there in McCutchen. They already have their best player in Brian Reynolds. They already have their best pitchers. Randy Arozarena to the Pirates. Break it, Scott.
Love it.
Well, that's not my job, but I'll text Ken and see what he thinks.
Okay.
One more from
Text
Fair
him.
Territory that he threw out there. He basically said Bellinger's not going to happen. I mean, I feel the same way just based on how complicated the contract is, the injury that he's been dealing with. I don't think that's where the Cubs will go. They'll sell other pieces, but Bellinger is way too complicated in a market that is so money obsessed. You can't take on a risk like that when he hasn't been healthy for now a good chunk of the year. So he said the Mariners need a star first baseman, but there's none available. This was in his notes column.
Joey Votto.
Joey Votto. But he's talking about Pete Alonso, Vladdy Guerrero Jr., Christian Walker. Who did you say, Vladdy?
Oh, yeah. The guy
man
is
with 5
hot
homers in his last
right
6
now.
games. I know.
Hot.
I know.
And his line drive swing doesn't go into a slump in Seattle. I think it goes into a slump when you're like, well, we got to deal with, we need a home run. He can hit the ball out of the ballpark. But his line drive swing, when he's in a slump, the balls just don't go out of the ballpark. They just hit off the wall.
That's the guy. Ken wrote that Luis Robert Jr. is a swing and miss guy, and the Mariners, they have a lineup full of that. They just got swept by the Angels, so there could be concern there. I think also they don't want to pay someone to that level right now. They didn't do it in the offseason.
They're falling.
They're falling hard.
Fast.
But this is – I got to be real with you. From someone who watches a ton of Mariners games, you'd almost think I'm a Mariners fan because they're up, and I love listening to their broadcast with Dave Sims on there, and the pitching's great. It is an incredibly frustrating team to watch for the past couple of years.
They're 3.5 out of the wild card. It is not looking good right now.
Well, and it's the division's the focus, right?
Well, I don't see that going.
You think the Astros are going to fly past them?
Let me just look back here.
They're one out. They're one out.
They're one out, and the Rangers are on their tail, too.
Rangers are 3 out, dude.
The Rangers are 3 out.
They better figure it out.
Which offense do you like best out of those 3? Rangers. I go Houston 1. Rangers is underperformed, but it's still much better than the Mariners offense.
Mariners are number 3 for sure.
Yeah, and they've got the best pitching, but that offense
Oakland's offense
severe makeover.
Might be better than the Rangers. Oakland's offense might be better than the Rangers offense
this year. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
Playing. No, you're right. That was awesome, FT fam. We're back. It's Kratz, it's AJ, it's Braun, and we do want to shout out our sponsor today, AG1. Their in-house team of doctors and scientists and researchers with third-party experts on studies that help to validate the benefits of AG1 stand out to us, and that gives you one less thing that you have to research and worry about. And 97% of people in a research study felt more energy after 30 days of drinking AG1. Kratz, you look very alert and well-rested. You might have had a little AG1 to drink this morning already.
It's the game's easy. I actually missed my AG1 this morning. Busy morning this morning. I missed a lot of things, but yeah, I notice a difference when I don't have it. Like, it's almost like, I know this is weird. It's probably not medically sound, but I yawn more in the mornings that I don't have my AG1 by 10 o'clock. Like, it sounds so dumb, but it's like something's just a tick off when I don't have it because I've been consistently taking it.
I like that. I think, we need more AG1 for Kratz so that he doesn't yawn. That would be
or I just need to take what I have.
Yeah, or that. They're constantly putting their formula to the test. It's trusted by experts and medical professionals, and it's backed by multiple research studies. So you can see it on the bottom of the screen right now, or if you're listening to the pod, take ownership of your health. Visit drinkag1.com/foul, or you can hit that QR code. We'll put that QR code up a few more times during the show here, but it's what we recommend here to support whole body health. And you can start your journey with AG1 by getting a free 1-year supply of vitamin D3, K2, and 5 free AG1 travel packs with your first purchase at drinkag1.com/foul. Got to go to drinkag1.com/FOUL.
Hey everybody, be sure to like and subscribe for more content.
We're back here every weekday, all year long, so do not miss an episode.
The videos are coming in all day. Here's another video you might enjoy.
Baseball the way it should be covered.